mind me, I live on Twitch. I was just here last night. It feels really weird to go back and back so close. You know, barely 12 hours. Um, let's see, I stream from 7 to 9 p.m., so it's been a little more than that. We're going on 11. But I watch the weather report as I do every morning, over and over and over again, because so does my husband, and he's the one that's got the remote, right? And we have a band of pretty severe weather coming towards us. I thought it might be best to go ahead and do this stream and get it out of the way today, get my spinning done. If we lose our electric, I can't use my electric spinning wheel. If we lose electric, we lose the internet. If we lose just the internet, I can't stream. So yes, on and on for the reasons to get it done with, because we are in a quiet period right now. The storms, a few went through. I heard a couple rumbles of thunder. It was nothing that went through this morning, but it rained hard. And that was just sort of a taste of what's coming. And that's your weather report for Yarn Spinners Home. Yeah, weather is important around here. We seriously do a lot of times arrange our life around what can get done when, especially outside, especially as to how we're going to be comfortable in the house as far as extreme cold. If we get to travel, because the roads are not good condition to travel in the winter mostly. Weather is extremely important when you live out in the country and everything you want to do is either outside because there's a lot to do outside when you live out in the country, or you want to go away from home and travel is important. So there's always the weather every morning. Most of the time they're pretty good at predicting and I judge it right. This was one particular time because yesterday I said we are going out and taking care of the errands today, and it turned out it was a beautiful day. We got to enjoy eating outside for our lunch, and today is just terrible. And hubby's attitude was, well, we'll just do our errands on Saturday. It's going to rain anyway, meaning I can't go outside and do anything. And I said, no, I don't want to run around in the rain. So I called it the way I wanted to do it. And that involved streaming late last night and early for me this morning. Let's get going. We have fiber to spin, and it is, CVM still. Technically, I have 7.5 bats. I'm going to spin a bat and a half today, leaving me 6. 4 of those have to go on an Ara bobbin, so I'll have to get my Ara out and use that. My knee feels wonderful this morning. That can change. Sometimes being on it or using it can make it not feel good, but it is mending, and it just is going back and forth, which leaves 2 bats for spinning, and a bat fits really good on the Ara bobbin. So I'm going to do this today, spin the 2 bats, probably during a stream next. I do have a lot of plying to do, and I've not been doing the plying on the stream, and I don't know why I'm talking and not spinning. Let's get spinning here. Now, I turn the music way down because I don't intend to talk too much today. I told you everything I was going to tell you last night. And I'm not as much of a talker, even though I've had a couple cups of coffee to get going here this morning. So I've got a little more upbeat music going. Hopefully it's not a problem for anybody who wants to be more chill. I did the chill last night. And who says I have to start right on the hour? A couple minutes early this morning. I'm probably not talking loud enough. That's another thing. Good morning, Kays. You're just as much like me. We live on Twitch, don't we? I just was saying I have to make it a point to speak a little louder. I'm very soft spoken in the morning for some reason. And my voice is lower in the morning, so I don't know that carries as well on the mic. But yes, I'm doing it early this morning because we got storms coming. So I want to get it done. Even the spinning, because I may lose, if I lose my electric, I could spin on the treadle, but I haven't been. I've been avoiding it. And this CVM does have an end eventually. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've been spinning nothing but this gray CVM forever. I should have known. With 15 bats it would feel that way because things go on. People to watch, yes. A lot. I noticed, I was looking at what was on right now. There's a lot going on Twitch this morning. But it definitely is hard. I mean, when it's just been barely 12 hours since I've been on, to get back on. But I did it because of the storm coming. And maybe I'll get some other stuff done today. If I get my spinning done. Kay says I 3-plied my Florida cracker until I ran out of the third bobbin. Oh, you weren't chain plying, you were doing 3 bobbins. Okay. I was going to chain ply, but it wasn't cooperating. So now I'm 2-plying the rest of it until I get down to 1 single. Was it too twisty? I mean, did you have too much twist? But she goes on and says, but then I can compare the 2 and 3 ply and see how I like it. Yeah, beautiful study. Very beautiful study. I don't think I got any Florida cracker. It's terrible, but I'm getting my passport book here. I may be hitting things. It's terrible because I can't remember. No, I did not get any. I got Gulf Coast Native. I kind of get those put together in my brain, right? But I did not get any Florida cracker to try. I don't know if I'm going to buy any more or not. I think I may have my 15 if I complete the knitted with the Black Welsh Mountain yarn. Plus I have one that I don't like, but I haven't done anything with. It's extremely coarse and full of Kemp. And I was like, well, if I've got 16, that's the one I just won't do anything with. So one of my goals today is to take pictures of, well, you know what? I think I need to wash those skeins first of what I have to report next. Even though they've extended the deadline and it's not really, I want to get done and get my little prizes and be done with that. Get it over with. It's been hanging around for almost at least a year now, working on it. The spinning is fine. The hard part is all the logistics of taking the picture and submitting it. Okay, since I really didn't divide it up evenly to start, it kept breaking on the spindle, and I haven't tried chain ply on the Nano yet. I'm afraid that you could put the speed way down, but I don't know. Although it would be really nice because you wouldn't have to manipulate anything but your fiber. And I have always chain plied on. I've never tried chain plying on a spindle. I've got to apply the Jacob before Turtle Fleece and spin the Lester, and then I'll have 5. Awesome. I have submitted 5. I know I have another 6 done. That's what I really need to take pictures of and submit, and I think they're all washed. I think I can do it. I may have to reskein them, make them prettier, but I kind of got sidetracked with the Turtle Fleece. You didn't want to mess with it this morning. I don't know what you mean. Okay. Yes, I did. I was making sure on my many, many notes I have here that I actually had weighed this bobbin before I started, and I did. So that's good. Is the music level okay? Okay, I think I have it up just a little bit because I didn't expect to talk too much today. But I don't want to blast your ears out. If it's too loud, let me know. But I can hear it. Usually I cannot hear the music. I have it so soft. And when you stream every day, let me tell you, you get tired of this music. I mean, I'm on something different because I've gone through so many of the channels already. Kay says my unofficial goal is to get the 3 done for Shave 'Em to Save 'Em, and I'll spend the rest on some random braids I want to play with. Will you take the rest day Monday? I'm going to take the rest day. Actually, I won't, in the sense that I probably ply, but I won't stream, and, you know, I'm not going to have to spin, and I'm not going to spin anything that will have countable ounces. My plying counts for Stash Dash and all of that, but that's where I report that, but not the Tour de Fleece goal for the Twitch team. It's driving me crazy trying to keep all this stuff together. Okay, thank you for letting me know about the volume of the music. That's good. And it's hard to keep track of, you know, who's goaling, I'm doing what, and especially the meters and ounces. I hate to say it, but it's just, I cannot get myself in a frame of mind to use meters and grams. Usually I'm pretty good about incorporating new things that life comes and throws at you, but I am having a terrible time with that one. The best help I've found, I know that you can go on and Google it. It's some reason that seems like an extra step that's annoying, but I have a yardstick that has one edge of it on the same side is meters and the other edge is inches. And as far as yarn goes, not fiber, not the grams, as far as that goes, that has helped me a lot. And for as far as measuring yarn that I've been knitting with for Stash Dash. The other thing that helps me is the scale that I have. It's very easy to convert between grams and ounces, and in fact you don't even have to turn it off to make it. You can just toggle into a different setting with a button, and if you have gotten your reading in ounces, you just toggle and get it to grams. So it really isn't a big deal. I'm just whiny about it. Don't make me do this. Cases, I'll probably apply the Jacob, but I might work on some other works in progress instead. I'll see how I'm doing. Yeah, I didn't wake up real ambitious today. It happens. Your body needs a day, a down day. The news the other day had a little blurb about how they've been doing a study in one of the Scandinavian countries over years now of people working 4 8-hour days, and but getting the same pay. And they found that the productivity actually increased, and there's, the work gets done. And I'm like, duh, this is nothing new. Years and years ago, I worked a marvelous shift of 32 hours a week. Okay, I'm having a little math problem here. Hang on a minute. 4 times 8 is 32. For some reason, I'm remembering it as 36 hours, and I don't know exactly how that worked out. But that meant, along with the fact that I worked every third weekend, and it was hospital work. You had to work weekends. Everybody had to take their time. And so, it was wonderful. And then I worked, it was a very stressful part of the lab. We were a trauma center. We had a lot of gunshots, and I was working in the blood bank where they used the blood. So, it was very stressful. So after I did that for 12 years, even at that reduced number of days and weekends, I finally said, I gotta quit. I'm done. I'm not gonna work. And hubby was working, and so I said, I'm just gonna take some time off. And I ended up taking off about 18 months. Well, I could have. I was basically looking at trying to retire, but what happened was, hubby had surgery, and it was not his current issue. It was a earlier one, and couldn't work as much as he was working, so I went back to work. When I went back to work, everything was different. It was 5 days, 8 hours, every other weekend, way more demands. Less staff. It was interesting how the change happened. And that was 2010. So it was coming off of that 2008 economic setback, that sort of thing. But anyway, moral of the story is, they can do all the studies they want that less hours makes better production and better workers, but employers won't do it. I just don't think employers will do it. They want less workers because of the benefits. They want especially less full-time workers because of the benefits, which cost so much. And that's my rant for the day, because I'm out of it now. I don't care anymore. And I shouldn't say that. I'm tempting fate. But right now, it is financially okay for hubby and I to both be retired. So Kay agrees. She says, I do like that about my scale. Yeah, that is just really awesome. And she says, sign me up. Q, sign me up. Okay, I'm sorry. Random Q, Q. Oh, the Ren. Yeah, the Q got in there by mistake. Okay.
Yeah. Sign you up. I know. I know. Now, the nursing industry is definitely going with 3 12-hour days or 4 10-hour days. They really like the 3 12-hour days. And most of the staff do too. I mean, they really do. It is an extremely long shift. I have worked 12-hour days. It is just incredibly hard. We were working on a situation where half the staff in the lab could not come in because of the weather. It was extreme weather, winter weather, and the staff couldn't get in, and so the staff that they could get in, they kept overnight at the hospital. I slept on gurneys. I slept very weird places, and I'd work 12 hours, and I'd have 12 hours to sleep, chill, whatever. So it was on and off 12-hour shifts.
But then that lasted about a week.
I mean, it
wasn't
horrendous. It just was like enough to show me that 12 hours is a long time, especially if you didn't sleep good the night before. Or, the 12 hours before, whether it was day or night. That was always the big deal about working second shift. Is bad weather coming in, snow coming in? Will third shift get in? Because if they didn't, we had to stay. It was like, oh, good, they're here. Bye. I'm getting home while the getting's good. And I'm sure many other people have experienced the same thing. Not even, not just the hospital environment. I think the next sweater spin I do, I am buying processed roving for. Not necessarily dyed, maybe a natural color. This might give me a better idea of how much I actually would need to buy, but I should get better return for a processed roving than this, because I have to pick so much out as I'm spinning. And I shouldn't have to do that with the processed roving. The alternative is buy a fleece. Yay! Like that idea. I need to increase the take up here. Oh yeah, there's nothing.
And send it to a mill.
And get the roving back and spin that. But you know what? That still isn't as good as when you buy a true commercial. The mill isn't going to get everything out. You're still going to have some. It's only as good as the fleece was, right? They're not necessarily going to get those shortcuts out. The way commercial mills get them out, I think, is sort of a combing process where they get everything sort of the same length, and then either make top, or, because top's ideal, or do after it's sorted, do the roving. And then, unfortunately, they use some kind of chemical process to get the vegetable matter out. So they just more or less, I think, burn it out somehow. And I've got hay here. That's all right. It's been a learning experience. It definitely has. Because this is probably the first time I've spun an entire fleece pretty much in the same time frame. I would and still do have fleeces that I will periodically do a little bit off of. And then, it's all washed, but then I'll periodically process some and do it for a smaller project. That's sort of the way I've been handling fleeces. This is the first time I've done let's just do the whole fleece for one thing.
Kay says, was overnight once during a reset. Okay, spell check. Reset for the yogurt? We came in at 10 that evening, and the next morning we were scheduled until 7, but we were running late, and I remember the first person was at 9, and it was very much, I really like Linda, I do, but I don't want to see her. I want to be here long enough today to see her.
Yes, I know. Okay.
What were you, I mean, were you working in a yogurt factory?
Auto carrot? What were you working at? Yeah, that was just almost a 12-hour day for you. If you went in at 10 and they got in at 9. Which is a long shift. Our night shift, and I've worked third shift too, was often very how can I describe it, cyclical, in the sense specific things happen at specific times during third shift. Because of the hospital floors, they would draw blood at certain times. Certain units would draw at certain times, so we would get, the blood draws at specific times. Our first shift is the same way. They always have what they call morning run, which is everybody's blood work that, isn't maybe a early draw. And second shift, stuck in the middle, was you could get anything anytime during the shift because we were basically for the ER. We weren't really doing too much for the floors except maybe certain things, but there was few admits during second shift. There was very few routine work. Second shift was all about the stats in the ER. And I worked second shift all my life. All my working life.
No, the store I was in was changing how the yogurt section was set up. Okay. But we were adding in shelves, so we had to move the entire thing to make things fit. I gotcha.
It was yogurt. Okay, I gotcha. Oh, display. Making displays work. especially in an ever-changing retail like a grocery store. That can be challenging. I think I'm spinning faster this morning than I did last night. If I get done at an hour and a half, I'll apply two of the earlier bobbins. I'll let these sit. Maybe it's the music helping me get moving. Hi, Sock Wizard. Good morning. Is it helpful to let things sit? Yes. Before you apply? Yes. My minimum is 24 hours, or at least sometime the next day. It might be less than 24 hours. But
Having said that,
when I was doing those breed studies and I just had the little samples, I'd go ahead and apply it right away.
it is very doable.
You will find your skein of yarn, your 2-ply or whatever, the final yarn, just a little more relaxed if you wait a little bit.
Case before that said it's really fun when the person designing how it should be doesn't have a good grasp of how things
Actually fit in the shelf. Oh dear. How are you this morning, Sock Wizard? Did any of that storm affect you? It missed us. I forget the name of it. Came up from up the coast from Florida. It didn't bother my mom at all because she was in Central Florida. She's in Central Florida, and it didn't travel up. It just stayed by the coast. But anyway, I know that it went up to New York. Everything all right up there? You must have electric. That's a good sign. It's usually the first thing we lose in a storm.
I have what I call hurricane hair.
It gets poofy with the humidity. Well, 2-ply is done.
It wasn't the bobbin I expected that ran out first.
Huh. So now what are you going to do?
You're going to do a chain ply with the bobbin that's left over, and then you have three kinds
To compare? You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with making a scarf or something that has multiple thicknesses in it. You just make that part of the design.
Okay. Sock Wizard says, okay, I had to run and push down the coffee, but I'm back. I heard you start to ask about the tropical storm. Elsa, yes. We weren't really affected. Lots of rain. Apparently some subway stations in the city were flooding, but I just stayed in my house. Yes.
Okay, good. Elsa, I could not remember the name.
Sock Wizard says, I only remembered because Elsa is a Disney princess now.
Oh. I'm out of touch with Disney stuff too. Pretty much. When you have a grandson, it's not about the Disney
Princesses. They have the Disney Channel, but it's not about the Disney
princesses. At least, not my grandson. He's into the action stuff.
Kay says, chain ply it is. I was thinking the same thing when I heard the name Sock Wizard. Oh, okay. Sock Wizard says, a few of my boy piano students were equally obsessed with the Frozen, yes, as the girls. One of them decidedly grew out of it. He's all about Star Wars now.
Yeah. But that's good. I mean, I wasn't really saying there's anything wrong with it. Just that my little grandson isn't yet. I don't know that he's probably watched Frozen, but it never was that over and over and over again thing.
Sock Wizard said, teaching songs from Star Wars is a lot more fun than teaching songs from Frozen. Oh, cool. Frozen was so popular for a while. The merchandise was everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but, okay, teaching songs from Star Wars, like, I only know the theme song. So, is that what you're. Frozen was a musical, so it had more songs. Okay. Have they done Star Wars the musical yet that I don't know about? I saw Mad. I was at the grocery store, so
of course I'm looking at the magazines they have by the checkout. And Mad has put out a Star Wars spoof.
Not going to buy it, but I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's probably pretty good. And I love Star Wars, but I'm more of a Star Trek person. All the different permutations of it. All right, I'm about halfway through this bat and a half. I'm going to take a quick stretch break here, get some water.
Sock Wizard says, I don't know, but there's a lot of good orchestral music in Star Wars. Oh, so yeah, okay, you can pick up the theme from that. That makes sense. John Williams is an incredible composer. I agree. As far as musical goes, I just don't find the songs from Frozen very catchy or teachable. You know, I never thought about that. And all sorts of arrangements of the little orchestra theme going running through or whatever. That's really awesome. I miss my piano. I miss my piano. But it's the piano I had, I've passed on to somebody else that really needed it, and the piano I'm getting is still at my mother's, and it's technically still her piano, so right now I'm without a piano, and it has to stay that way until I can get my mom's, because I'm definitely not gonna give that one up. That one is gonna come here for its forever home after she no longer is around. But that's gonna be a major thing too, to move it from Florida to here. Maybe I can move to Florida before that happens. That won't be so bad. Oh, I said stretch. I need to stretch. Evidently I need to yawn too. Yep, definitely spinning faster than it was last night. I must have been tired last night. Or these bats are a little better to spin. oh, maybe I could get a digital piano to play around with until you get your mom. Some of them are very reasonably priced and portable.
That's actually not a bad idea.
And then you can,
When you get to piano, you can sell the digital one. That's true. I haven't really looked into that. I bet you if I stocked, I mean, it's called Craigslist here. I don't, is that a national thing? Where people list what they have for sale? I probably could find a pretty good deal. That's not as crazy as my brother. My brother lives up in Ohio, near our hometown area. And hello, Tuna Basil. Welcome. Good to see you. How are you today? Anyway, let me tell this quick story about my brother, who is younger than I am, and has his home up in Ohio. And really, he played trumpet. You know how you play an instrument in high school and stuff like. So he can read music. He played a trumpet. He doesn't really keep it up, and he got a little tiny organ to learn to play a keyboard, because my grandmother played an organ, one of the home organs that everybody used to play. And he did. He, for some reason, somebody somewhere along the line said, "Hey, there's a theater organ in this theater that's being torn down. You want it? You can get it for free if you just move it. All you have to do is move it." Do you know he moved that organ and put it in a room? I was like, "You're kidding me." He says, "No." He says, "It's big." It's like, yeah. But how cool is that? Oh my gosh. An old theater organ. So, yeah, like the big old pipe organ? Well, yeah, it's got pipes. Yeah, I don't know how he set it up. I haven't seen it yet. I was just like, he says, "I've got the organ in a room," he says, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing with the pipes about it. It just like blows my mind. But yeah, he was all like, "Sure, it's free." Yeah, well. Yes, I know my grandma used to have one of those organs and was like, I would play it because I could play the piano, so I'd play her organ too. As she got older and couldn't play it, go play the organ. But I never had I guess what I'm really saying is the idea of a digital piano kind of makes me think of an organ. Anyway. So Tuna Basil says, just enjoying the beautiful weather outside today and spinning. Good. Outside spinning. I love it. I love it. Wow. Whole organ. I don't get up to see him very much. Once in a while, we go on up further from the Dayton, Ohio, Young's, Jersey, Dairy, Fiber Fair. I'll go up further and pay him a visit. But I haven't been up since he got the organ. Maybe it's just all about he's glad he rescued it and he's just waiting to find somebody that can put it to use in a real situation, right?
Oh. Suck Wizard says, I'm waiting for my fractal spin to dry and spinning some merino. And Tuna Basil says, someone near me is giving away a baby grand piano for free, but they can be expensive to tune. I didn't know that. I didn't realize it would be different than tuning any other piano. Sock Wizard says, yeah, also incredibly expensive and difficult to move. That one I can understand. I didn't realize they were harder to tune, though. And I just wouldn't want one. I could only do the upright wherever I live, I'm sure, unless I win the lottery and buy a huge house. Tuna Basil says, I have a friend who tunes pianos for a living. Okay. She gets to see some really cool things and beautiful pianos. Oh, that's really neat. Sockwizer said, I spent over $500 every time you moved your upright. Oh, I'm not glad to hear that. Tuna Basil said, be right back. My timer went off for soaking your singles. Okay. And Sock Wizard says, I have no idea how much a baby grand would cost to move. I can't imagine an upright is that much. I think hubby and I will rent a small U-Haul. We can put it behind a car. Or we may end up with a truck by then, but I wouldn't put the piano in the truck, but it would haul a trailer. And rent a trailer. Have piano movers move it into the trailer at Mom's, and then hire a different set of piano. Did I say piano? I said piano movers, didn't I? Not tuners. Piano movers. Put it in the trailer and then hire a different set of piano movers up here to move it into the house. That's sort of the way I'm expecting to do it. I can't go interstate with a moving company unless I can get a really good deal with somebody who is moving somebody near me anyway, and they stick it in their load. You know, the odds of that is very low. Sock Wizard said, I don't think baby grands are more expensive to tune. On my tuner's website, they don't give a separate price for that type of piano, just $140 per tuning. Yeah, my mom still has her piano tuned every other year. She is pretty good about keeping that up. And something that I have to remember to do. And Sock Wizard says, though, if you're getting a piano for free, it might need a little extra attention from the tuner the first time, like depending on what condition it's in. Yes. And you might have to have two tunings, right? Where they take it up a certain point and then they have to come back. Because I think that's a thing, too, on pianos that haven't had a lot of attention. What my mom loves the most
is the piano tuner that has tuned her piano over the years is also a pianist. So after he gets done, he sits and he plays by memory a lot of different, for a little bit. And of course he's doing it to listen to the piano, but Mom is just thrilled because she can't play. She's blind. She never played by ear. She always read music, so she really can't play. Right, a pitch raise, yeah. Sock Wizard says, for me, part of the expense of moving was living on the third-story apartment. Okay, right there, that's a huge problem. Although, I did move one piano once early in my adult life to a third story. My goodness, that would have been early 1970s. I doubt the price was all that much. Sock Wizard says there were a lot of stairs involved. When you move your piano, if you're not moving it up and down a bunch of stairs, you should be able to get a better price. Yeah. That's going to affect how much it costs. Just like try and keep it on the ground floor. Yes, they would have. The biggest problem is not steps. It's doors and turns, in the house itself. But it would definitely be on the first floor. Looks like I'm going to get to play later. That's good. More progress today than I expected. More progress I've been making. Okay, Sock Wizard, see you in a bit. So it's finally Saturday. For the last 3 days, I have been thinking it was Saturday that day. Hooray, it is finally Saturday. Tomorrow's afternoon stream, it'll be my regular time, will not be spinning. It will not be the CVM spinning. You ought to be all excited. not to be seeing this gray fiber still. It's a challenge day, and my challenge is to use a Navajo churro single that I spun a while ago for the Shave 'em to Save 'em. I'm going to submit the yarn, but I'm also going to use it in something and submit that too. Uh, so, one of the reasons is I have uh, I have it in a skein, and very loose, and I'm not so sure, which is fine for taking the pictures for Shave 'em to Save 'em, but I'm not so sure that they're going to understand that it's a single. And I want to show the weaving project, and all I'm doing is taking a square nail loom, warping that with probably thick black cotton, crochet cotton, and doing a simple shed to make a wool mat. Okay, that's all I'm doing. But I want to do something with it, and I'm going to do it on stream tomorrow since it's a challenge day. I don't know. I have always felt that challenge days were for anything that you didn't feel comfortable doing, which is, so you can learn. And I have not always spun. Or I have spun. Let me rephrase that. I have spun on things that I'm not comfortable spinning on, which is a sports spindle and a charka. But I'm broadening that a little bit to say I'm going to say I'm not real comfortable weaving with these fluffy singles. I've never tried it before, so that's my challenge. Doesn't matter. It's my challenge. Anyway, no spinning tomorrow. And hopefully some success with the singles. They seem very relaxed and open, and of course I'll show them to you tomorrow. The biggest problem is going to be getting them through the shed. I'm not real set up for weaving, let me put it that way. So probably we're going to do some kind of makeshift bobbin arrangement, not bobbin, but to carry the warp across it. So hopefully folks will come by, and if they have suggestions, that'll be good too. Okay, back says tuna back, tuna basil, and so does Sock Wizard. Oh, Navajo churro, yay, yes. And tomorrow is a challenge day, Sunday is, and then Monday's a rest day. Tuna basil says, that sounds so cool. I will probably have lots of leftover Icelandic after this project, and I hope to have enough to make a small rug. I hope I can make a stream. Yeah. Oh, that'd be really neat. Sock Wizard said, I said I was going to learn to ply on the fly for the next challenge day. Well, that's tomorrow. And it's the last one because we're heading into the third and final week. And of course, the whole point of the challenge day is because the riders are doing a very challenging mountain stage. And they, for some reason, both fell on a Sunday, and then they have a rest day afterwards for a Monday. I'm sure they set the route up that way, so they can give them the rest day afterwards. Sock Wizard says, yeah, I guess they will be in the Pyrenees still. Those are probably very hard to ride up. We get to spinning and our goals and challenges, we forget that the whole point was there was the Tour de France going on, right? I try not to forget, but I do. I most certainly don't watch it timely. I'm still watching recorded ones. Tuna Basil said, we'll see if I can do a challenge day tomorrow. It's the last day before your IT certification test, and the rest of the day is the actual test. Yeah, I'll probably just end up spending a normal amount. No big deal. That's fine. And Tuna Basil says, but I love seeing what everybody else is challenging themselves to do. Yeah. And if you're way too committed tomorrow, you can catch the VOD. Watch it later. See me fail. You can tell I'm not I'm not real confident about this. I will be after I get it set up, which is today's goal. Get the warp on, get something that I know I can wind the singles on, and then I'll be alright. Something I can make the shaft or shed with. I knew it was an S word.
Sock Wizard says, I wonder what fiber to use for my Fly on the Fly challenge. My choices are Shetland, Merino, Rambouillet, and Sock Wizard, I'm sorry. I don't know what Streamlabs picked up here. I apologize. You're timed out a little bit. Yeah, and I don't know what it was. I can still read it, though. I'll read it here. So the choices are Shetland, Merino, Rambouillet, and a bit of Corriedale. Tuna, your challenge will be prepping for your test. That's right. That's what I was saying. It can be very challenging. Sock Wizard says, at one point I was thinking of getting certified in IT. Oh, okay. Sock Wizard said, I got that. Oh, I see what you said. Yeah, that is a word. They may mute me if I say it. So, book, and started reading it, and then I was like, I'm not going into this field. Okay, that's all right.
Tuna Basil says, that's a good point, Sock Wizard. Yeah, I'm serious. You can catch this stuff later. Get it done and get it done right and be happy with it and don't stress. Don't put yourself in a stressful situation. You'll do fine. We believe in you. We're behind you. 100%. And you know what? If it doesn't work and you can do it again, do it again. There was a certification to get a license to work as a med tech, which is what I was in the state of California. I moved to the state of California, um, probably 10 years after I had taken the original certification. And I did study, but I didn't pass the first time. I took it again, get my license, so I could work for real as a med tech. So yeah, just keep at it.
Sock Wizard says, but yeah, I did customer service stuff and data entry stuff for a while, and that was also troublesome to me.
And now you teach piano, and that's like really cool.
Tuna Basil says, yeah, it's pretty tough, but I've been learning so much and it's been fun.
That's good. I'm glad you like it. That's the really important part.
It'll also be nice to get into a job with a predictable income for the first time in a while.
Oh, isn't that awesome? Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yep, I can retake the test as many times
As it takes. That's good. And since you like it, then I think you'd be motivated to go ahead and retake it.
Tuna Basil said, I did art festivals for my job before this. I miss it. And I think in the future I'll look into maybe 5 shows a year. I used to do like 20. It was a lot of back.
Breaking work. Oh my goodness. Yes. I mean, you'd have to travel so much to do that many art festivals. You're not going to have that many real close to you. That in itself is part of the how hard it is, as well as setting up and taking down and preparing everything that you want to sell. That's why when I go to fiber fairs, I do spend money. I just like, I know the work that's involved in all aspects of it, and I want them to keep doing it. I have a little more trouble with that attitude online. The competition is so stiff online. It's hard to pick one and be fair. If you know what I mean. But the fiber festivals are pretty diverse in the fact that it isn't all just hand-dyed yarn. You can get fleece, you can get the spinning tools from the woodworkers. You can get the fiber, of course, dyed and undyed. Prints, people who do artwork, already made stuff like socks out of alpaca. There's just a wide diversity. And it's all in one place.
I'm like trying to find it all online. Had a little taste of that when I did the Maryland Sheep and Wool virtual,
where it was truly some things I
never expected to find as, a booth
at the Maryland Sheep and Wool. A lot of diversity. And it was kind of cool when I went to the Hoosier Hill Fiber Fair a couple weeks ago, whenever it was. The people who do shaker boxes that I first saw at the Maryland Sheep and Wool virtual was actually there. So I got to see the shaker boxes in person, and the gentleman who was behind the booth just gave me a grand tour explanation of all of his stock, because I told him, I saw you online, at the Maryland Sheep and Wool, and it just is very exciting to meet you in person and see your items in person. So I still would love to buy one. They are so expensive. I just can't justify it. But they are beautiful. Do beautiful work.
Let's see. Where did I miss here? Tuna Basil said, yep, 4 weeks in a row. I drove to Cleveland, from Cleveland, to Atlanta, to Denver, to Pittsburgh, and to Chicago. Oh my goodness. Although she says, I miss the travel, but I worked so much I never got to enjoy the city much. I can see that. Yeah. Did you go home in between, or you just stayed on the road? Tuna Basil said, yeah, I went to the first fiber show this year, and I was smitten. Oh, I didn't know that. Shaker boxes? Oh, do you really want me to enable you? I mean, do you really want to see a picture of this?
This is like asking, are you 21? I don't mean that they're that obscene. I just mean they are, oh my God. Okay.
The Shaker was a community in, I believe, I forget exactly where. I think it's Kentucky. And they were there for religious reasons, but they also were independently supporting themselves by making everything. And they're renowned for their woodworking. And they made a distinct style of box that was not just a box with a lid, but a carrying handle, and you take it off and there's separations in there for like a sewing box. And oh my gosh, I will. Here's my last little bit of fiber, and then I'll get you a link and we'll talk about it a little bit. Now this is just one maker because I haven't seen anybody who was doing it specifically, as his creative art. Yay, another bobbin. I will weigh that in a minute. I just so happen to have his business card here because I am still looking. It is a yarn store. I mean, it's a yarn business. It had a legitimate reason to be at the Fiber Fair. Let me pull their website up and get the... It's called Aisling Yarns. And do you know, I really... Most of it is supposedly the lady is dyeing. Okay, she's doing dyeing. AislingYarns.com. Okay. sheep. So this is just their front page. After you go to the website, you can poke around, but there are sheep in the main picture, and then there's shaker boxes underneath. And of course, there's a place that you can click on for the shaker box. You saw them at a show. Okay, you got yarn from them. I don't remember the boxes, though. How could you not remember the boxes? All right. Maybe they didn't have them. How? Well, no, you just went this year. There you go. That's their website. Sorry, I didn't see the yarn. I mean, I did. It was back behind, but the front of the thing was the entire shaker boxes. So maybe they were just not really setting up the same way or something. Yeah, now you know what I'm talking about.
They are gorgeous. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
You just didn't know what they were.
All right, let me weigh this bobbin. And get a picture of it.
Sock Wizard said it was Sock Wizard that said that she saw him. Okay, not Tuna Basil. Sock Wizard says I only had yarn, the eyes for yarn.
Yeah.
What did I start with here?
2.7 and I'm at 4.1. Yeah, that's about right. 1.4 is what I spun on the other bobbin. Okay. So that picture's taken care of.
Tuna Basil, when she was traveling, sometimes I would stop home, sometimes I wouldn't. All right. Aisling Yarn, Sock Wizard said, I saw them at a show. I got yarn from them, but I don't remember the boxes. And we've already read that, and I only had eyes for the yarn. And Tuna Basil says, I've seen boxes like that before. They're gorgeous. Yeah, I got a new raw fleece yesterday. You did? I have so much fleece I want to play with, but I need to get through Tour de Fleece first. Yes, unless you just do little bits of it in between spinning, because it takes a while to wash all that, right? So depending on how you're going to wash it, you might do little batches. When I have a lot of fleece to wash, I do a batch a day, because you got to have it someplace to spread it out and dry
Too, so that's another part of it. I'm going to ply. Let me get this set up here
to grab my Sun's shining right now.
It's tempting us to go outside and then storm on us.
Oh, you got it. Okay, her fleece tuna basil says it's from a Shetland ewe lamb too. It's so soft. Oh, Sock Wizard says that does sound nice.
And it is. That just sounds wonderful.
That's funny. The fleece I bought at the last fiber fair was a Shetland too. Although I don't know ewe or lamb or anything like that. Tuna basil says it's got some mini Cheviot in it too. It's soft and a little bit spongy. Huh. That's an interesting mix. Sock Wizard says Cheviot I have to try. And Tuna Basil says Gwen Aaron Fiber has 8 ounces of white Cheviot for $10. Oh, buy it. It's great for sock yarn, you think. It is. It's great for sock yarn.
If you can tolerate the not very soft. I mean,
It's not rough. It has that distinct, this feels like wool
feeling. So you have to be able to tolerate that. Most people can, but
it is your ankles.
that might be bothered or whatever.
Okay, Sock Wizard. Oh, the stream is cutting out for you? Okay. Anyway, Sock Wizard says, gotta go eat your French toast and spend some time with your sweetie. Also, the stream is cutting out for me. I'm sorry, I don't see anything here, but anything's possible. I will look for Gwen Aaron Cheviot, though. And bye for now. That's good. Tuna Basil says stream is good for you. And see you. It is definitely not the softest, but it was a pleasure to spin. That's true.
It is. And that's a good recommendation. Somebody's already spun it. Go buy it. Oh, need more pulling. That loosened up. Alright, I'm going to apply these. Maybe skein it off. And then I'll be done for the stream today. Sorry, the spinning wheel's going to be a little bit louder. It winds more going the opposite direction, and I'm at a higher speed because I always ply at a higher speed. And remind me, we'll look and see if there's somebody to raid, too, before I cut off the stream. I didn't last night because I felt like it was too late in the night, but I've been trying to see if there was anybody on the raid. I enjoyed the other day meeting somebody new that was crocheting, so it's fun, even if they're not in our Twitch team, Turtle Fleece group.
It's good for you. Okay, she says, Tuna Basil says, I love all wheel sounds. It's good for me. Kay says, my plying is done and now you can spin. Good.
Got any thoughts on your two different styles of 3-ply and your 2-ply. Yeah. Kay says, hi, Tuna Basil, I've been lurky. You like the feel of the 2-ply? Oh, well, I just keep falling back on 2-ply all the time. But that's just a nice mid-range yarn for knitting just about anything, really. The chain ply is a 30-yard mini skein. I know, because chain ply really eats up yardage. You don't get the same yards as you do with 2 or 3 holding 3 singles. You get like half of it. Make a little mug rug or a Christmas ornament or something with it. When I was plying all the Rambouillet, I ended up with this teeny tiny little bit left on a bobbin. In fact, here's the ball. Oh, that really washed out. Right, you can see based on my hand how tiny that is. I didn't even measure the yardage, but I'll do a little something with it. This turned out to be a very productive morning. It's not morning anymore, is it? 12:35. Kay says, yeah, the chain ply I did on the spindle was nearly exactly half of what you got on this, and they were both 4 ounces. Yep. And Tuna Basil said, did you process the Rambouillet from raw? Yes, it was part of a fleece. It was a third of the fleece that I still have the other 2/3 to do. And the reason I had a third of it, it was when I washed everything, I sorted out the really nicest bits and put that all together, and it made me 6 bats, and that's what I spun during this. But the remainder of that Rambouillet is going to go into a dye pot and get dyed before I do any more processing on it. So I did. It spun pretty good. I carded it on a drum carder. I probably would have loved it better if I had combed it, but it is what it is. And, you know, I may or may not put that those skeins of yarn. I've moved them. Sorry, I don't have them here. I may or may not put those skeins of yarn together with what I process out of the rest of the fleece. But it's a nice amount of yardage. It was 234 yards, 2-ply. It's a nice amount of yardage. I'm going to be able to make me a lace scarf or something. The only thing I have to decide is whether I want to dye the yarn before I knit anything with it. That's what I have to decide. Tuna Basil says, do you like the fleece you got? Would you recommend the farmer, or do you remember, want to share your source? I got it in 2019. I got it before the pandemic. I have to think of it. I probably have it in my notes, but it is. Uh, uh, I don't know if they have an internet presence or not. You know, because it was at a fiber fair that I got it. But I'll check on that. I'll make myself a note here. Oh, I do know. I do know. See, as soon as I said that, I do know. She actually, she lives in Kentucky, the eastern side of the state. She is known as the crazy sheep lady, and that's who it was. And it's not a pure Rambouillet. It's a Rambouillet cross, and I don't know what it's crossed with. And it was a ram. So that's who it came from. His name was Bullwinkle. Not that that matters, but. So yes, I have her information, and yes, she does have a website. I wonder if I could bring it up. Pumpkin's Patch. There it is. It'll come up under Crazy Sheep Lady on Etsy. I wonder if that's her. Let me check this one first. No, I don't think so. These are t-shirts, mugs, and it's a cute site. Oh my gosh. Easily distracted by sheep. That's on a mug. I gotta share this. This is not her. Okay. But I gotta share this. This is adorable. Oh my goodness, those are cute. All right, back to the Pumpkin's Patch. Her favorite sheep. Okay, she only has a blog. Yeah, she only has a blog. That's what I was thinking. She doesn't have. Oh, it's current though. It's current, so she's keeping the blog up anyway. She has a Hug a Sheep Day and she does have a farm shop listed. So this is where I got the Rambouillet cross that she was vending at a fiber fair. I didn't buy it mail order. There, I took care of that. Yay. Just takes my senior brain a moment to remember. I only have been telling people forever and ever that the name of the Rambouillet was Bullwinkle, which makes me remember where I bought it and when. You're welcome, Tuna Basil. Always happy to enable help. Yeah. And I liked the fleece. It was very large because it was a ram. It was the normal amount of. It was well skirted, but it had the normal amount of vegetable matter, expected amount. I will say I thought it was a tad high, but it was a very, very large fleece. I'm thinking 10 pounds, thereabouts, for the whole fleece after skirting. Tuna Basil says, I look forward to spin some nice soft wools after all this Icelandic. Oh. it is a large fleece. That's why I broke it down into 3 bits. And it'll go into 2 different, it'll go into, the, it'll be divided to go into the dye pots. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't do it all at once. You haven't worked with anything larger than 3.5 pounds. Yeah. And I think I probably pulled out 1.5 pounds. Oh, that doesn't make sense though. 6 bats, 6 ounces. I may not even have pulled out 1 pound of that fleece. So there's a lot left. And it's much more possible that I will take the time to comb it instead of carding it. It wasn't bad, but like I said, I could cherry pick the nice stuff and got away with carding it. I have so much yarn to wash after I get this done. This looks like it's spinning a little thicker than, or at least the plying looks like it's going to be a little thicker than the light gray. I think it's still going to be close to, it's going to be in the Aran. And the Aran is a pretty big range, so you'll be alright. You silly girl. You didn't write down. I did not write down what that bobbin weighed afterwards. I said it, but I didn't write it down. I do have a picture of it. Okay. And once again, my bobbins aren't going to come out even. Just the nature of spinning one bat per bobbin. Could be pretty close though. Not bad. Oh my goodness, I am warm. Woo. The air is not running and I wish it was. Oh, there's hardly any left on here. That's good. That worked out good. I can just wrap it off in my hand and finish it up. Oh, that's right. You're outside. You put the umbrella up for shade. It's getting warm. It's getting toasty. Yeah. And try to see if you can finish your bobbin before you get too hot. Oh, lost my end. Come here. Tuck yourself in there. snarl. All right, this isn't working well. All right, when it fights you, shorten your grip on it. Then it goes fine. All right. Except I gotta get this feeding out of here. How'd you get going wrong? I have to slow way down when I do a little end bit like this. I can't go fast enough. With my hands, I mean. There we go. There was hardly any there. So that's it. I've not been weighing the yarn 2-ply bobbins, but I'm curious. I know my bobbins are all around 3 ounces, and I've got 5, so I've 2 ounces of yarn. Makes sense. 2 bats, each around an ounce. I didn't lose too much. I will skein that off later. I'm going to take a look to see if there's anybody on Twitch we might want to raid, and call it a stream, because there's more to do today. And excuse me, getting turned around here. It's Saturday. There's lots to do, and some of it's fun. I hope you all have a wonderful day too. Let's see who's on. Let's turn the music off. Let's see who's on Twitch. Okay, we rated Tokobet Suminari before. Paper. Oh, Atomic Stacy's on. I don't think I mean, that's another good one. Yarn Crafter's Corner's on. Let's go to her. She's in the team. We'll go to her. Is that all right? Let's see here. I have 3 viewers, but that's okay. All right, thank you for hanging out, everybody. Kay, Tina Basil, really appreciate it. And I will
catch you tomorrow afternoon. Sock Wizard, you too. Been good talking to y'all. And let's do this. Read. Oh, let me get this over here so I know how to spell it. I never know where the S's are in her name. It's after the crafters, but not the corner. You're welcome, you all. Oops. Crafters corner. All right. Yep, it's going. See you tomorrow. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hitting the button. Bye.